everybody, my name is Christy, and today we are here to show you gift wrapping. I'm not the greatest at it, but with a square, I'm pretty damn good about it. Or rectangle. This is pretty much a rectangle. Square's different. Okay, so what you're going to need for wrapping your present is the present, but we're going to be doing an empty box because I wanted to do empty boxes this year anyway, so kind of matches the theme of the vlogs so far. You'll need your wrapping paper, which mine is My Little Pony. I got it at the dollar store. Anyway, you'll then need tape, scissors, and then you need to put a bow on it. So you gotta have a bow. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is make my box. I thought these were bigger, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Now, of course, when you put your gift in it, make sure that, you know, you try to actually bend it out. So it looks kind of like a square rectangle thing. So, doing it kind of, because I want it to have some 3 dimension to it. Alright. So now I put my box together. Ta-da! Although theoretically this should be fine, but presents don't look like this. No. So we're gonna take our box. I got these at the dollar store too, so in case you're wondering. And then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. Now, all wrapping paper is about a width of this long. There's very little that's actually thinner in width. So what I recommend doing is trying to size it up with a gift that's smaller or equivalent size to what you have, so you don't waste the other side of the paper, because you're going to end up wasting paper. So just a heads up. Alright, so what I do now, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Like, you can measure the box out and do like 2 inches on each side kind of thing, but I'm not like that. I don't like doing that. Too much work. So what I do, I lay it out, and I first figure out what I'll need. Because you can either do it where this part is the edge, or you can turn it and do it like that, and then you can also make sure that it wraps around, because that's going to be important. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and probably do it this way. Nah, the other way is useless paper. So I make sure that it goes all the way around by doing it this way. And you have to check on the edge of the paper as well, because you'll have that edge, the side of the box, that you have to make sure is covered as well. Now, that paper that I have has grids on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I can use that to cut across the line I need it for. So, which is this one. Stare at the paper. Where did I go? The world may never know. If you can make it a straight cut, that would be perfect. But I can't keep a straight line, so it's not going to be perfect. But that's okay, because I'm not perfect. Alright, so now we got our paper we're going to use. Now obviously I'm not going to use the whole thing, which is why that we kind of cut it out. Although I love this paper. I wish they had wallpaper like this. Okay. So, I'm going to take my box. Now, if you have a heavy gift, I do recommend taping the sides here and here. So then that way when they pick it up, it doesn't just plap, you know. But then if you do that, make sure you're prepared with like keys or something to get that undone. So, just kind of a thing. I don't have to because there's nothing in here. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. Actually, technically I could do it either way, but I'm going to do it this way. Because I said I was going to do it this way. So now you just need to figure out how much at the end you're going to want. Okay? Now, should your paper not be perfectly aligned, which mine might be or might not be, I can't tell. Yeah, it's perfectly aligned. So, but if it's not perfectly aligned, that's perfectly fine. You can even sometimes just change the angle and like doing it this way. So then that way you don't run out of paper and it's pretty good length across the sides. So worst case scenario, you can always just add a extra piece. It'll just look a little bit more sloppy, but that's okay. Okay. So I'll try, I'm gonna do 2 squares. Now when I cut it this way, where's my scissors? When I cut it this way, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of extra room just in case I mismeasure, just in case. Okay, so there and there, so 2, so I'm gonna give myself a 3rd square over here. There we go. And then you just save this for another gift. Save that for another gift. All right. So what you want to do is wherever the top's going to be, whether you're doing it in a box or just wrapping the gift, make sure the part you want them to typically see is on the floor, face down. Because what's going to happen is if you need to ever tape the box, which I don't recommend putting tape on the box. Some people do, but it just can sometimes damage whatever you're having. But if you do, you don't want it to rip whatever they're looking at. Mm-hmm. Plus, it makes it a lot smoother. So, okay. So you line it up just right. Try to get it as even as you can. Then, I got a new roll. Hold on. With every new roll of tape, you have to get it working. There. All right. Okay. Take a piece of tape. Okay, line it up. I try to make it as even as possible with the edges. As even as possible. Because, yeah. And then I just put a piece of tape wherever I want it. Mostly I try to do it in the center, because the rest of it will come in time. So then what you'll do, or what I do, is I like to push my box a little bit to where there's only a smidge left, maybe about 1 inch. Okay. And then what I do is I take this, so then you know pretty much where your box is going to sit. So then you put more tape as needed. Dollar Tree tape. Because who needs expensive tape? Okay. So then you fold in the corners. Okay. And then you flatten it out. Okay. It's hard to do it in here, but. So you flatten it. Make smooth edges. Like that. Do the same thing on the other side. You try to get it as smooth as possible. Then you fold one side down. And it's okay if there's a little bit over it, because you'll just pull this part up. You always want to end with the side that you're taping. And either have someone hand you a piece of tape or just do what I'm doing. And then just get pissed off at it later. And then tape it down. Now, how much tape you use depends on you, depends on how you want them to open it. Some people want them to open it nice and neat so they can keep it for later. I don't care. So then next, you'll notice that there's some extra paper here. What I do is I just take it, estimate it, and just cut what I don't need off. Okay? Now this is something I keep until I'm completely done. because in case I need a little extension, or if you poke a hole, these are great for patch jobs. Although it may not look perfect like you did it out of Hallmark, but at least they won't see what's inside. And then I put some tape on the end here because it's a lot easier when the box itself, the paper doesn't split. Okay, then you just repeat the same thing, but now on this side. As I'm folding Pinky's face in. Then you fold it down, fold it back, there you go. Now we have the perfectly wrapped gift. Then you pick out a bow, which I think I'm going to go polka dot. I saw that earlier and I was like, ooh, polka dot. Now some of these, and these do, come with the peel off, which when you peel it off, it sticks to the package. But they're not always reliable if you keep them for like years, okay? So what I like to do, is I like to keep it on there, and either you can tape it down from the sides that it gives you. You can tape it down that way, or you can do kind of the donut. That way you have double-sided tape, basically. Put a little bit on the white stuff. And then place your bow accordingly. All you gotta do now is put a label on it, stick it under the tree, and go to your next one. So that's how you do the box look. Now, when it comes to gifts that are not symmetrical, because this is symmetrical, that you kind of have to get creative with what you do. It's not going to be kind of textbook wrapping. Kind of like, I like to call this textbook wrapping because this is how you're taught to try to do it with a box, which is the easiest thing in the world. But if you have, like, let's say you have a plushie and you're trying to go ahead and wrap a plushie. Well, you can either get a pretty big box for it, depending how big it is, or you could also just wrap it as is. Which what you can do sometimes with that is just have a flat piece of paper out, and then you can always just put it up and then just put a bow around it. So you can do it like that. So you kind of experiment with the odd shapes to kind of see which one actually fits you better. So I'm not too great with those. Some people also just use gift bags, which are totally understandable for weird shaped stuff. So, but for your average box, no matter what size you do, these rules can apply. The lengths may change because if you have like a bigger present, you know, you may want to have 3 inches on the side versus just because this one's about, I'd say about 1 inch of depth. That's why I only needed about 2 inches of paper on the side. So that does make a difference. But if your present does not look like this, don't worry. Keep trying. I did not get it on the first try. I didn't get it for several years, actually. And I'm actually proud I'm able to do this. And I am so proud of my pony presents. Although there's nothing inside. That's the sad part. Good part is I got ponies on the outside. Okay. So if you like this, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to show your support for my channel by subscribing to my channel. And until next time, guys, bye.